What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel. We got another awesome live stream today. Today, we're going to be talking about a special Pulsechain altcoin that's been making insane waves across the entire community. This specific meme coin has a reference to Elon Musk, and the narrative behind it is absolutely crazy. So I'm really excited for this live stream because we're going to dive into the name of this meme coin, which is Blastar, and we're getting into the nuts and the bolts. And I also have a special guest I would love to bring to the stage. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Going good, man. Yeah. So, hey, man, Blastar has been absolutely blowing up on the Pulse chain. You guys have been doing crazy numbers. I see B Roots covering it. I see a lot of the big accounts. How's it feel to get a lot of attention so far?
It's been honestly surreal. You kind of be in the space a lot and you kind of see a lot of tokens kind of try really hard and then fail no matter what. So just have us put in the effort and then also it be reciprocated by not only our community but those around us in the space to help us succeed, especially shows like yourself and B Roots and Ian and all of the guys kind of coming together to show their audiences and just help us out. It's been wonderful, and I can't thank not only our people, but everybody that we've reached out to and talked to, you know, substantially. It's been amazing.
Yeah, man. The meme coin run and Pulse chain is crazy. A couple months ago over the summer, we had the PDI and Atropa stuff showed up, and that basically launched it. And from there up until now, we see meme coin after meme coin, and then you guys pop up, and the thing's just been going absolutely ballistic, man. So hey, kudos to you and the team. So before we get into Blaster specifically, I'm just curious. So when did you first get into cryptocurrency?
I got, like it's a funny story. First got into probably late 2016, beginning of 2017. Now first saw it. Everybody kind of has a similar thing. They see it and then they kind of explore it. I think I saw it first in like 2015, 2014. I got on some wonky site to try and buy it and then got to the point where it said to wire the money. And since, I didn't grow up in a very affluent home, I was always taught kind of the opposite. If anybody asks you to wire the money, it's most likely a scam. So I immediately kind of just brushed it off and was like, whatever. And then come, into the future, I actually sat down and kind of was just like, oh, well, I was just being kind of stupid. This is obviously not some scam. It's SHA-256. There's all these cool stuff about it. It kind of unraveled that rabbit hole that you go down, and yeah. So realistically, saw it around 2014, 2015. Finally dipped my toes late 2016, beginning of 2017.
Wow. Wow, yeah, so you've been around this space for a very long time, so you definitely got a lot of experience and, based on the project you put out, I review a lot of these projects, I would say conservatively, maybe 1,000 to 2,000, and you can tell the type of caliber project that's being on the market, and based off of what you guys built, having the ability to grow a community so quickly and have a really great narrative behind it, I definitely knew right off the bat this was definitely designed by pros. Now, one question I have for you, my buddy sent over B Roots and Ian video to me before this, and I was just doing some background research on you. And B Roots said, you're a legendary dev that's worked on projects in the past. So how long have you been developing for? You don't have to say specifically what project, but I'm just curious, how long is your development time frame for cryptocurrency projects?
In cryptocurrency, because I had kind of in cryptocurrency, I would say it started in 2018. I got into it 2016, 2017. I saw the big crazy ICO boom,
Mhm.
and with that, there's more of a realization that yes, you can make money by participating in these ICOs, which I guess now we have like pre-sales and IDOs or whatever they are now. But back then, that was like not really heard of, at least in the crypto space. And so you watch for these ICOs, and they would go to 40, 50 million dollars, right? And then the guy on the other end of it, they're making like, and they would put it in their white paper or whatever their business plan was, that they would take 10, 20% of that just to take. So then, you're coming out of it with these guys who are end up making like $3 to $8 million for just creating a token and slapping it up on an ICO website. and that's kind of when like it clicked financially that I wanted to be a part of that, but also it allowed me to kind of explore the cultural side and being able to like create something that is not only, you know, it catches people's attention by giving them like financial gain, but also can get them to come in and be a part of something bigger than themselves, like whether a community or whatever the objective of the project is. Like there's so many things out there, and obviously anybody who's been in crypto has explored many ideas. Like a really big thing that was a hot topic back in like DeFi summer of I think it was like 2021 or something. Um, it was like charity tokens. Like people would raise a bunch of money to give to a specific purpose, and you know there's been all kinds of really innovative things that I think made me want to kind of take the dive and jump into this field. So
Okay. So basically, you're trying to create a project that's for the people, by the people, and something where everybody can win. Is that a great statement for you?
yeah,
Or correct?
that would align a lot with what we're trying to achieve.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Now let's get into Blastar. Everybody loves this project. I even love it. I had no idea Elon Musk had a video game, which we'll talk about in a minute. But for those of us who never heard of it, what is Blastar and what's your main utility?
So Blastar was a game that was created by Elon Musk when he was a very young child, and thus being like the whole meme space that we're in, everybody kind of gravitates to Elon, right? And while it's more of a long game, I think I'll explain that. The whole goal behind any Elon token is to not only garner the attention of people who might like Elon for what he's done for the crypto space, but also the potential to be recognized by Elon, right? And I think that as time goes on and Pulsechain grows with like the inflows that we should be expecting in about a year or so, that kind of aligns up with all these inflows of kind of bigger players' expectations when they expect Bitcoin to have kind of these bigger inflows at the end of 2024, going into the beginning of 2025. That obviously will expand into Pulse Chain and expand our liquidity as well. And then with that, you could kind of see the growth of us getting into the really larger scale market caps. You start going to that 100 million, 500 million, et cetera, et cetera. And when you can get into those kind of echelons of tokens, you start being able to garnish the attention of bigger players like Elon and things like that. So um, that was like one kind of directive towards it. And the fact of is like being a developer and being a creator, you're always kind of drawn to these things that help build up your skills and technicals from where you came from. So if
Right.
we are able to achieve these levels and get to where we would like to, it's pretty logical that Elon would say, "Oh, I put a lot of work into this, and this is one of the things that created my foundation to be able to do what I do." And there's a high likelihood that there could become some interaction there, and with that, obviously, becomes new inflows, and people see it, and that would be a goal as far as the meme side of things go.
Something just caught my mind with so it's pretty evident for those guys who don't know, Blastar was the first game that Elon Musk created. And for my research, he sold that game for $500 and then moved on. And then later on, a reporter from I don't know if it was Yahoo News or something, but basically they took it and published on the internet so that anybody can use it and play it for free. Now, something interesting that just came across my mind. Did you see the Twitter page X payments that everyone's freaking out
I
about?
did, yeah, that's super cool, actually.
Yeah. So I was looking at X payments, and obviously everybody's basically going long on Dogecoin. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm seeing all over the place. So that's where I'm a little sketched out with Dogecoin. But right when I saw that, and I saw the project you guys are developing with Blastar, do you think there could be a potential collaboration?
Now, I can't really go into any details about some of our stuff like that, but we are all right, so here's some alpha for you guys. I can't lean too much into it and I can't really talk a lot about it, but if you want to stick to our Telegram or our Twitters, you can kind of stick there and you'll probably see some more. But we are working for towards a to solve a problem where people can actually onboard through TradFi things. And not to say yes or no if we're working with them, but we are working on being able to get things like Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, possibly, you
Ooh.
know, X maybe. Again, I can't go any more than that. But there's some alpha for your show and the viewers. So just stick around
Oh
the
man.
TG and the Twitter, and you guys will see some pretty interesting stuff that we're working on.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate that, man, and we'll leave it at that. I don't want to unpack that, but yeah, like I said, guys, check out Twitter, check out Telegram. That's absolutely pretty big. That's really, really big when it comes to not only cryptocurrency, but what we're trying to achieve here on the Pulse chain by bringing the Pulse chain to real world assets and fiat on and off ramps. Now, getting into, I want to talk a little bit about the tax percentages, right? So, number one, you guys have a max wallet allowance of 1%.
Yeah.
And then you also have a, well, actually, let's just start off with that before I get into the tax percentage on buys and sells. So, what was the purpose of the max wallet allowance of 1%?
So I mean, obviously that's like anti-whale. You don't want somebody to be able to come in straight off the back, especially when you're doing launches and it's decentralized. There's so many snipers and so many tools available to traders nowadays that it can completely just obliterate your project, right? So one thing for doing and to make sure that one person doesn't get over allocated or to keep controls over it's just basically like an anti-whale and to make sure that no single party can essentially dump the chart and screw up everything for everybody else. Now, obviously, we want people to have volume. It's not like we're against people selling because that's how we sustain ourselves, right? Like that tax that is collected is going back into rewards for people who are holding. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, one thing I wanted to ask you about with the max wallet allowance of 1%. So that can actually stop sniper bots from like buying up the entire token supply at launch, correct?
I mean, it's a for the most part, yeah, it's something to be able to help divert that. Now, if someone's using
Okay.
like a million wallets and a whole bunch of money, there's not really much anybody can really do. But luckily, it didn't happen to here, and it is one of the tools that we use to kind of thwart off bad actors.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I was curious just for my own educational standpoint because that's an interesting approach, and I'm starting to see more tokens do that. Didn't Pepe implement something similar as well?
Um, I know that there's a common. I don't know, to be just completely honest with you, but I know that it's a common tactic when a lot of these projects are launching on like a DEX or something. They'll go, especially ones that you're just seeing come off of live pairs. They'll have a lot of limitations, and then over a time bracket, they'll be dropped down to zero. So that way, that their distribution isn't completely just like wonky, and one wallet holds 30% of a token or something like that. So and those taxes are always like, I mean, it varies from project to project, right? But that's
Okay.
generally like the tactic used when doing that.
Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Now let's get into this sales tax. So basically within if you decide to sell within 0 to 5 days, you have to pay 30% tax, and then it basically goes down 5% every 5 days up until 21 to 25 days where it becomes a 10% tax. So from my understanding, 5% becomes the reward, and then well, excuse me, 5% goes to your development wallet, and then the rest of the token tax, depending on when you sold, gets reflected to you in Pulse. In your opinion, do you think these taxes will have an impact on token price appreciation and volume behind Blastar?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean that's kind of part of the reason that I don't know if it's been discussed in many places, but we're exploring options to have people vote over our tax development. Like, so what's going to happen in the future is obviously 30% is not super sustainable long term, and people have come to us to ask us what we're going to do about it. And the ultimate thing that we are looking to do is to turn to our community and have them vote over it. Now, we're not making a DAO. That's not what this is, but we probably will use like some of these things. Like, this is a maybe, we're exploring options, we'll call it that, to use some of these things like guild or maybe um, snapshot in order to be able to take a vote on what the community may want and then act upon that, right? So to answer your question, we plan to essentially lower them, but we need to keep them to be able to keep the sustainability going of it because it can't run without taxes. Sadly, as much as we would all love a zero tax token and for it to be a meme and awesome and everybody's vibing, we can't have rewards without tax. So we're gonna have to play it,
Right.
just play it, play it by ear and really just listen to our community and take what they have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the things that I've seen in this space, I haven't seen many tax tokens do really well, but your project did extremely well. And also PTGC, which is another project I watch on Pulsechain. So I think with what y'all are doing with that tax token setup and how it ran up so quickly, I see a lot more people incentivized just to hold because it feels like as people sell, they receive that pulse and it's actually paying them out what they initially put in. And so they're less likely to sell down the road. That's just like the market psychology I'm seeing. And so now I'm in this weird spot where it's like, do I want to add more? Do I want to chill? Do I want to sell my bag? Do I just want to earn that yield? So in my theory, it sounds like it's like a game. Was that made by design?
I mean, I think that's kind of just markets in general. They are all things within the market are kind of designed to be a game, right? And that's kind
Mhm.
of I think how we approach a lot of this gamification of tokens and the system in which they exist in has always been something that drives crypto. And I would say, I mean, that's a long-winded yes, basically.
I got you.
Yeah, it was by design, but
I I got you. Yeah, absolutely. No, I absolutely love it. Now, so let's get into all right. My next question: why did you decide to launch on Pulse Chain? Ethereum's got a lot of value on it. That's where most of the money's at. We have Solana developing, but you decided to come over to Pulse Chain. What's the motive behind that?
I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons. I think that a the community is just prime, man. There's not another community like that of Hex and Pulse, and you know, it's just a thriving actual community here. Like if you look at all the other things, it's like ETH and maybe it's an L2 or something like that. While there are people around it, there's not like a hardened community. You know what I mean? You don't have like entire shows built around like optimism or Solana or any of these other things. Like you have entire communities and diehards and people who put their everything in every day. And I think that was a big factor as to why we wanted to go here. And especially another thing that maybe this is a little bit construed off the pipeline, but a more long term stance. All of these things like BSC, Sol, these L2s, they all took like 2 years to get their big inflows and have like BSC to have its DeFi summer and Sol to get its huge inflows and have its meme coin season. It's a 2 year runway before they see these inflows. And kind of how I was mentioning at the beginning of this, we're approaching that 1 year mark, right? So all we have is like another year before based on time and what's happened on other chains before we get those big liquidity inflows, and those same liquidity inflows and time frame would line up with a lot of bigger players predictions of the bull run extending and really getting heated up in the end of 2024, 2025. So logically it just makes sense that if you can establish yourself on a chain that really hasn't had that huge run up yet, you can definitely solidify yourself in all of crypto, right? Because I mean, just like how kind of B Roots had said it earlier when they were on live, if this can get to 100, $500 million and market cap, there's a very strong likelihood that you start getting the attention and eyes of Elon or bigger players like that, right? So obviously that comes with like time and growth of a market. We're not going to be 100 million market cap tomorrow. Let's be real. You know what I mean? But
Right.
if we can sustain ourselves and keep our system going and keep the rewards going and have it sustain itself, there is a very strong likelihood that you could see us at the top and upper echelons of these big meme coins. And that's ultimately the goal, is to create something that not only sustains itself long term and creates this huge thing that's bigger than any of us, right? It's bigger than myself. It's bigger than any like one individual. Um, so So creating something and being a part of something that's bigger than ourselves would ultimately be the reason for being on Pulse, the community and all of the potential.
Great points, and I couldn't agree with you more. What's interesting was when we had the Pulse chain first launch, we had a lot of maximalism in this community saying that I'm only in Pulse chain, PulseX, whole 9 yards. And then it slowly evolved into people are interested in PRC20 token copies. They were interested in new projects launching, and now they're getting interested in new meme coins coming on top of the chain. So, what I see is the community slowly evolving, getting into new projects and talking about new developers and builders coming on. And so, you guys are at this really great time frame where a lot of the community is more accepting of new projects, and we're starting to see an increase in volume on Pulse Chain. So it was like the perfect launch, which I absolutely love. And also on top of that, Pulse Chain hasn't had its full bull market. And I don't know if you keep up with Hart's Law. Everybody loves to talk about Hart's Law,
Of
how it
course, absolutely.
gotcha. So everybody likes to talk about Hart's Law and talk about how, when Pulse goes up, all the other altcoins go up, kind of like a tide. If the tide goes up, all boats goes up. But also having Blastar on Pulse chain, you're gonna have a lot more interest, a lot more eyes on this, and this could potentially reach that 500 million threshold. So I couldn't agree with you more about that. Now let's get into the Elon Musk targeting. So how did you come up with the Blastar idea? Like creating a token behind his first video game? Because when I first heard about it, I had no idea that Elon Musk had a video game to begin with.
I think it just comes from honestly, I've been developing. Okay, so in the beginning of this, you asked me like when I started developing crypto, right? And
Mhm.
that became kind of into 2017, 2018, really more or less 2018. But I had started like a long time ago, initially modding Xboxes, as crazy as that sounds. I used to use like Linux and Unix to modify my Xbox because I didn't have a lot of money as a kid. So, but what we could do is we could go get Xbox games and rent them from the store and then burn them to the Xbox. But it required like learning all of this stuff, and I'm I'm trailing. But long story short, I used to mod games on the Xbox, right? And
Right.
that kind of built up this entirety of everything that I've built my life around of, right? So you kind of have these connections to these things that you built. Like mine were Halo mods. That was like the first thing that I ever actually like. I modeled something, I injected it, I learned how to do tags, I learned how to what a resigner was and what hashing was and all of the big things. And now anytime I see I'm a sucker for old Halo, you know, anything that. So when I see there's a nostalgia thing that's like, oh cool, like in my I know it's like not in reality, but in my own mind, I'm like, yeah, man, that helped create all this crazy stuff in crypto. So I think that that's part of it, like looking back into my own kind of past and saying how much I can relate to games, even though I don't really play games anymore. I would love to, but I just don't have the time, unfortunately. I think the same thing would be I mean, I know Elon plays games. He always posts about him, beating whatever dungeon. But I
Right.
think that ultimately, if we can reach those thresholds, that's part of the reason that would allow him to draw back to it and see it and possibly give it that interaction. Because as a developer, you always you always find a way back to those old projects.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for that breakdown. And it sounds like you put a lot of thought into how you wanted to approach this meme coin that you developed. And so let's get into the Elon Musk component because I really want to highlight this, and I'm sure everybody watching this live stream is really interested. What does it look like when Elon Musk interacts with your project? Is that through some sort of tweet? Is that adding it to the X Payments Twitter account? Like, what do you have in your mind that's going to, really impact Blastor positively with Elon Musk interaction?
Well, I can't comment too much on that because I think it might reveal some of what we have in development. But I think ultimately it would be somewhere through the X platform or I mean, that's where I imagine it. I can't be too specific about how I would like that, but that's generally how I would expect it, somewhere within X.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, and look, I don't want you to show your cards, and I completely understand. Just my thoughts on it is when we looked at Shiba Inu, it had a slow build up, gained a lot of traction. Dogecoin ran, Shiba Inu ran as well. And the critical moment when Shiba Inu had that blast off top was when Elon Musk a day before said, "I'm going to be posting a picture of my dog." And he posts a picture of his Shiba Inu, and the thing just goes skyrockets. So that's kind of my thought process. You don't have to comment on it. Don't reveal anything, but that's just how I'm thinking this interaction could potentially work. That's my prediction. But I'm curious to see what you guys have down the road. So, cool. Now, let's get into this development fee. So, your taxes send a little pulse to a development wallet. Have you guys been developing anything that you haven't previously mentioned in this live stream?
Um, I'm sorry. One more time, you said I haven't developed
S-
anything.
So, what are you guys like developing the background to? What do you have in the roadmap for Blaster? Is basically what I'm asking.
Well, currently, I think the current thing on the roadmap is to get everything sorted with our community voting, and being able to take a direction in our taxes and sustainability. That would be first, and then something on the back end, like we were talking about, is those on ramps. Again, I can't go too much into those on ramps, but being able to directly onboard, from TradFi into Pulsechain is kind of like the big thing. I do want to also mention, I am not like the main dev. I am a dev on the team though, so I'm like
Like the
I'm
marketing dev.
yeah. We all have like we're all technical, right? We all have technical skills and we all can and do things. But just to throw it out there, everybody, I am a dev on the team, but I'm not like the dev.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. So, okay. Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see after you have that stuff launched out, what you guys build down the road because I see a lot of volume. I see this token doing really, really well, and I see you guys have like a war chest to develop and add things onto the future. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you about marketing. So you're on this live stream, talk about the project. Do you have any marketing campaigns or do you have any plans on continue to market Blastar after this live stream?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our war chest is huge, and we're working towards marketing in every single way possible. And it's not only just through these and reaching out and having, being on shows or hosting AMAs and things like that. It's ultimately getting involved with our community and having them do, different things within it, whether it be incentivize like rewards or whatever to get people to kind of like share and talk about us. There's just all kinds of things that we have cooking up and are working on kind of behind closed doors. And again, it's not like not everything's a huge secret. We can't talk about anything, but with us kind of at such a pivotal moment right now, like we're trying to really get that big push into the upper echelon of things. You know, we're not trying to reveal all of our cards exactly, but we are working on it, and we do have a lot of things on the burner per se.
Hey man, secrecy is your best weapon. That's one thing I learned about cryptocurrency is if you keep things secret and you launch at the right time, you can really hype something up. So I completely understand where you're coming from, man. So awesome stuff. Now, one last question I wanted to ask you. You've been around the space for a minute. Have you guys garnered any tension from Ethereum?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some interest, but I think that the main way to be able to onboard like other crypto enthusiasts is to essentially build something here that they would want to be a part of, and that's really where Blastar comes in, or Blastar comes in to be able to do everything, and be able to onboard those people to give them that attention because I know that there's a lot of back and forth between Hex, Pulse, and ETH people. They kind of butt heads sometimes. So if you can kind of create that middle ground where you can give them something, like get their foot in the door, right? You just say, "Hey, look, Elon, come check it out. Come have fun with us. We got rewards." And they kind of stick around. They go, "Oh, Pulsechain is actually awesome. This is really cool. I like Hex. I like to do this stuff." And I think that Blastar will ultimately help kind of onboard the other crypto people by giving them their foot in the door and then exposing them to Pulse and PulseX and the whole ecosystem here.
Yeah, I really like that. You not only are you guys trying to get into, the fiat on ramp, they're also trying to onboard people from not only Ethereum but other blockchains. I honestly think that's really important, and that's the biggest struggle with Pulsechain is because so many people are so obsessed with Hex, PulseX, and all these other tokens, but there's also other tokens in this ecosystem that could garner attention. Meme coiners are, they'll go to any blockchain where they can make money. Degens, those are the types of people that trade a lot. And what I noticed was when HBAR was increasing in volume and we had more and more projects launched on HBAR, I saw a lot of my Degen friends go over there and start trading back and forth. And so when I see a project like Blastar, I do agree with your statement that you just previously mentioned, is that this could potentially be that project to bring that type of people over that would love to get into meme coins and degen plays. So definitely really love what you guys are developing. Now I'm out of a question, so I was going to go through, check out some on the chat and just see what's up and see if anyone's got any questions for you. So is this your
Awesome.
first live stream, man?
Yes.
Oh,
Not,
dude.
not, not like first ever in my life, no, but like for the project, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. So we got Scott stoked for this one. Blast devs are real deal. So much more in store. We see nothing thus far. Straight money printer. It is. I love that one.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Hex to the moon. Let's go.
Let's
And
go.
yes,
That's what we
sir.
can.
Yes, this live stream is going to be recorded. Just hit the live stream tab right under. You guys can check it out. Let's see. Big GZ Blastar.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir. Stefan, I love this YouTube account. Year, good stuff. Shout out to my boy, Adam Vibra Finance. Good to see you, man.
What's up?
Watching from the plane, I can't see the firmament from 37K feet. Jesus.
Dude, I think we've all experienced that. Dude, plane Wi-Fi is no good.
The funny part about this is, Adam came up and said he came up with this term saying to the firmament, right? Saying like going to the firmament. And
Yeah.
we started posting that all over Twitter and it just spread across the entire Pulsechain community. And now I'm seeing like Blastar to the firmament, PTGs to the firmament. It's funny. So what's up, Landscraper? Good to see you. Shout out to my boy Goo God. Always good to see you, man.
Good to see you, good God. Thanks for support. I appreciate you.
Shout out to Scott. Thank you so much, Twitter. Awesome to have the support from you, man.
Man, this is crazy to see so much support. I mean, we've been working really hard to garnish this much support, and we've been doing a lot, but it's just awesome to kind of have the reciprocation that we are. The
Yeah, man.
reciprocation.
Yeah, no, dude. People love your project, dude. We got Cryptic Life. He's like, sup, guys.
Sup, Cryptic?
Good stuff. Good to see you, my man. And then all right, I'll check it out. You guys are spamming Trump on Pulse, and I'll check out later on. Not right now. But yeah, definitely I'll take a look at it. Cryptic trying to catch some alpha. Good stuff. Fox Mulder. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Pulsechain will take over the #1 L1 title from ETH. I hope so, dude. Because if that happens, we're gonna be rich. What do you think?
I mean, hey, you know what I mean? Hart's Law, it goes a long way. You never know.
Yeah. Speaking of Hart's Law, what do you think about Hart's Law? I meant to ask you that earlier. I forgot to ask you that earlier.
I mean, I think that it makes sense. If the underlying asset of something goes up, then ultimately the entire ecosystem goes up. That's just kind of how all of it works. There's not really much debate against the logic of it. So, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a thing. I vibe with it. I'm here for it. I'm supporting it. We got a whole project based around it. I don't know how much more I could get involved with Hart's Law.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, the reason why I asked that is recently I've seen people go back and forth about it, and I mean you're definitely well versed in it, and you completely understand. And I learned a lot about Hart's Law and other projects like PTGC, so it's definitely good for everyone to know, especially on Pulsechain. All right, let's check this out. On top of rewards accumulated and appreciating, the math gets stupid. And if Blast does a 10 to 100x, you can also expect the profit taking and rewards to do similar. Absolutely. Very good point.
And we do
Okay.
want that for our people too. We would like to be able to get people those, 100x rewards down the line. So what they're talking about is something that we aim and we strive and want to do, because just as kind of Richard has set out to make millionaires and has made millionaires, we would hope to be able to do the same thing and kind of follow in those footsteps, especially, being here on Pulse, and we're all kind of walking in the footsteps of him in some way, shape, or form. And that is, I know that Blastar, we would hope to be able to emulate that and be able to make multiple millionaires for multiple reasons and change the lives of anyone that kind of gets involved. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you would say you draw inspiration from Rich Art, correct statement?
I mean, not entirely, but yeah, I mean, I think that you can to a degree.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, and I do like your guys' approach where, you're putting the community first with your project, and I see a lot of development teams sheer away from that. And I always firmly believe that some of the best projects you'll see in the space puts the community first, and those are the ones that thrive the most.
Hmm. I mean, I would agree. Yeah,
Awesome. Good to see you, blockchain boss. Interesting interview. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming in, man.
yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Passport pal. Hi. I used to do an Xbox and an Xbox 360 modding.
Hey,
Got
what's
fans, man.
up? Yeah, he knows about them J tags and the 360, then, huh?
S- Gotcha. And then Stefan, Halo OG. My
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I used to play in the MLG Pro circuit back in the Halo 2 days and got bored of it because I don't know. I wasn't. I was all right. I played for like a little team and whatnot, and then went straight into the modding because that was more interesting to me.
Whoa, wait. So you were like a pro, like Halo player?
Like a Halo 2 old. Like I was in like the whole thing around like final. I wasn't in final boss with all of them or anything like that, but we did play, like we went to regionals and we competed and I got top 50. Nothing like crazy. I wasn't like ESPN or anything. It wasn't. That's not really how it was back then. But you know.
Dang, man. Dang. Yeah, you definitely are an OG when it comes to anything Xbox. That's awesome. Like, I remember when I was in middle school, man, I played it wasn't World of Warcraft, it was like Warcraft 3. And I played that for about 6 months straight and I got bored and did something else. Oh, we got a super chat from my boy, Goo God. How do I show this? Whoops. Shout out to my boy Guga. Keep smashing it, my Chaz. Shout out to you, man. Oh
Thank you,
yeah.
Goo God. I appreciate that. You keep smashing it, my dude.
Yes, sir. I do appreciate you, man. And also, Alien is about to blast off. Shout out to Alien. That's also one of my other favorite coins. That's also Guga's one of Guga's favorite coins. That coin definitely has a lot of potential, and I'll do a live stream on it later on. But shout out to them. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, good guy. Good point. Green candles bring mass adoption to any chain. Hedera DeFi is just the beginning. Couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah, we just gotta wait for that 2 year little gap to close out, and then we'll hit those big liquidity inflows, and then you'll see those green god candles. And at that moment, that's when things get nutty, man. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it on other chains in the past, and I was a part of it, and it radically changed everything for me. So like, I cannot wait till that happens here because it's gonna change everything. Not only like obviously for the project and everyone around us, we're super excited for that, but like,
Yeah,
man, it's so hard to explain. If you've been through it and you know what it's like when all of a sudden it's like everywhere and all of a sudden all of your friends have money and you're all taking vacations and you're like, "Hey, we're going to Thailand." And you're just there. Oh, it's crazy. Those
yeah,
times come.
yeah, absolutely. Actually, I got a funny story about that. So when I got into crypto back in 2019, the first project I actually bought was Hex, and I saw what was going on, and I can't remember what price I got at. It was like less than a penny or something. And when I read through the white paper, I had very little knowledge about crypto, but I had a great understanding that this thing was going to be the future. So I was basically in my master's, and I was like, okay, I see there's something here. There's potential. So I went to Costco and I bought a big old box of protein bars, and I ate 3 protein bars a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I just put all my money into Hex, and the thing just went absolutely crazy and skyrocketed.
Yeah,
And
man, that's
I took all,
badass.
yeah, man, I took all the profit and gave it to my grandma, set her up good. So it was a pretty life changing experience, and yeah, man, that's what I'm excited about too. So yeah, sorry, I've never shared that story before. So
No, that's awesome. I didn't mean to cut you off like I wasn't interested or something. I'm so intrigued and I think it's awesome and I relate to it a lot because after that first after that first bull run of me round tripping my bag essentially, I kind of did a similar thing. Like you said, you were just like eating the one thing, and I kind of just went to boiled eggs and beef jerky sticks and was dumping all of my money into this, and it worked out. So like those memes when I'm looking on Twitter and it's just like it's like a guy with his laptop and an air up mattress or just like a blanket with a pillow on the floor. I'm like, hell yeah, that guy's gonna be a mega success. He doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah, and the funny part about it is we get to the next cycle, we're still doing the same exact thing.
I would accept it upgrades a little bit. Like I'm gonna be real. Like my scenario isn't it's like that, but not like I'm in a very like my apartment's dope, right? But I've just got like my work desk and then like my bed and then I've got like a couch. And it's a nice apartment. I got great views and everything, you know what I mean? It's just I work all the time. Why am I gonna put all that stuff into why am I gonna put money into a big old flat screen when I can just buy more crypto?
Yeah, no, dude, it was the same thing with me. My problem is I start buying surfboards because I love surfing, and
Oh
I
yeah.
actually I broke my toe the other day, so I'm actually icing my
Oh,
foot right now. Yeah, it's
I'm sorry.
crazy.
That
Nah, it
stinks.
happens, man. It happens. It happens. I'm a daredevil, but my problem is like I buy a bunch of surfboards, and I'd be sitting here and be like, okay, so I just spent $900 on a surfboard when I could spend this $900, get it back in like in a couple months, and it'll be worth like 20 grand, and then I can buy like 20 surfboards. So that's my thinking now. I just price everything in gains in crypto. So um cool. So we got another super chat. John Noonan, Blaster, changing lives. Thanks for everything. Hey, shout out to you, John. I really do appreciate the super chat, my
Thank
man.
you, John. I appreciate that too for supporting us and supporting our host here. And it's been thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, next one. Bazbrush. Is the 30% tax day 1 through 5 from the point of purchase or from day one of launch?
It's day one of launch, I believe.
Okay, Dave. Oh, day one from launch. Okay. Actually,
It's going through revisions right now. That's the thing. Like we're actively it's an actively evolving thing. So right now
okay.
we're turning to the community to be able to vote over it, and that should actually be what's coming up next. So it's just look to the TG or look to our Telegram and look to our Twitter for essentially more info over it. Come talk to me in there. Well, I'll talk to you one on one.
Absolutely, and I'll put in the Telegram link and the website and also the Twitter link down below in the description for anyone who's watching the recording. If you guys want to check it out there, get all the information, please check it out. And also like and subscribe to them. So okay, cool, man. Well, I think that is it. So I think we went through all the questions and comments and all the good stuff. Yeah, man. So is there anything else you want to talk about Blaster wise or anything else you want to mention?
Just that I mean, obviously you guys got the alpha that we're working on an on ramp. Um, we're obviously going to be on a couple more shows coming up, so stay tuned. You asked about our marketing. That's kind of what's in plan. We've got a bunch of more shows coming up and more interviews. We're going to be revising the tax stuff. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and come over to our Telegram and get involved, and you can actually help shape the way that Blastar helps turn out over the coming days and weeks. So if you want to be a part of our overall development per se, I guess come in here, come hang out with us, come talk to us, and be a part of the project.
Okay, awesome, great stuff. Hey, and one last thing. Seven keeps putting this in the chat. What's the Teddy FUD about? Does this relate to you at all, or
No, so the Teddy FUD, I think it was just like some back and forth stuff, but end all what basically we don't have any like beef or anything like that. I think it was just like some friendly banter going back and forth, and that's kind of it. Um, but no, we're accepting, and we don't have anything as a project against Teddy or anything like that. We actually welcome them to come chill with us and kick it with us because I mean we're all part of Hex. It's kind of it's it would just be silly to think that we would want to like fight or go against them because we're sitting here with open arms, man. So I mean, it might be like some lower tier people within the community kind of going back and forth, but there's no tribalism between one or the other. I think that they're awesome project. I'm sure that they think that we're an awesome project. There's no hate from our team whatsoever. So I mean, I hope they succeed. Like genuinely, I hope everybody on Pulse and Hex succeeds. That's why we're all here. Like if we didn't want everyone to succeed, we wouldn't be a part of this. We'd have gone to ETH or Soul or some kind of other just soulless chain. So
okay?
it's really just yeah. I'm sorry, I'm kind of ranting because I'm
Yeah,
just
you're good.
passionate about it. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely have no issues with Teddy, and I know that our dev team doesn't. There's been like this thing online about I don't know, some kind of like headbutting or something when that's apps on the uppers, like all of us, we have no issues with anybody. We have no qualms or any kind of stuff like that. We're all family.
Yeah, and the other thing I also want to add, I covered a lot of PDI and I cut a teddy bear, the teddy bear token, and when all that stuff started and there's a lot of tension, I did a bunch of live streams on it, and a lot of people saw the stuff I had to say. And the big people behind the teddy bear community, they have the same thought process as you. They're really nice dudes. I know every single one of them. I'm friends with all of them, and they basically resonate with the same message you just said here. So, in my opinion, I think it's just a small group of like 1% of people that are just causing drama on Twitter. And I don't think there's any beef between Blastar and Bear. So, yeah. So, cool, man. Like I said, thank you so much for coming on this live stream. This was an awesome live stream. We got
Thank
into
you
a lot
for
of really great stuff, man. And we definitely need to bring you back on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having us and thank you for letting us talk about our project and introducing us to your fans. It was really cool to be able to have some of their super chats and kind of mingle with them. Again, if any of you guys, like what you see or want to come hang out or talk to me or hang out in the TG, come over and say hey. Cause a lot of times we do have just VCs going on in the chat like daily or every other day, and anybody can hop in and just ask questions live. And in fact, speaking on the Teddy drama, just to kind of go to it. If you guys want to reach out, and you want to work together, you want to do something and see what we can build together on the chain and kind of destroy this FUD that's kind of been going on. Whatever negative press has been going on, please get in touch with us. Come contact us because we would love to be able to like just show that we're a family or we support you guys and we want everyone to succeed. You know, because there's something that I learned a long time ago, and you know, if you're going to work in a very specific space like this, you're going to see the same guys on the way up as you do on the way down. So don't be an asshole,
Right.
you
Couldn't
know?
agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can do some sort of like live stream or some sort of collaboration, like you said, just so everything's smoothed out because we're gonna have a really, really big time in Pulsechain very soon. I got that gut feeling, and I think less fighting is going to be the best approach for everybody. That's just my opinion. So but cool, man. All right. Well, like I said, dude, we definitely got to bring you back on. Definitely good luck with all the project development and excited to see what you guys come up with in the next couple months, man. All eyes are on you right now, so keep it up, man.
Thank you so much. And just to kind of touch on the subject, you said you knew people from Teddy. If you want to have them reach out via Twitter, we could expedite that process and kind of probably set something up. So I would greatly appreciate that too. So thanks for having us on. And I appreciate you letting us speak our piece on kind of the whole situation, telling our story, and being able to inform people about our project. So thank you. We're
Absolutely. All
Blastar. Come check us out.
right. Awesome, guys. And, like, subscribe, follow the Blaster team on Twitter, check out the Telegram, all that good stuff. And like I said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.
Bye guys. Have a great night.